So.
Okay, hold on.
Want time to shower too, if I can.
How's it going?
Oh man, that is a loaded question after these past few days.
How are you feeling right now?
You know, surprisingly, I'm content. Going into this, I had a lot of things I wanted to benchmark, just not being the first boot, getting to merge, getting to the jury portion, and getting an individual immunity win. So I checked all of those things off. The things I didn't get to check off was playing an idol, couldn't find them for the life of me, and making it to the end. But I'm surprisingly very happy. Yeah, I'm content.
Go ahead and put that in your pocket so you don't have to worry about it.
Sure.
Free up your hand. You're happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a lot of bucket list items. You made final 7/8.
Yeah.
Out of a cast of 24.
Right.
This is your first live game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, did you see the end in sight, and how did you feel about your chances of winning?
I did. I saw it in multiple ways. I think I'd aligned myself with a lot of people and given myself the best kind of coverage wherever I went with people who had my back. But by doing so, and as people do, and they talk, and me just always wanting to talk, I think I put a very big social target on my back. It was well known. People told me, they're like, "Oh, you're playing this you're this amazing person playing this amazing thing." I was like, I just feel like I'm struggling to survive the next challenge. Thank you. It's just me, who I am, and I felt that I could see it. I was like, oh man, I'm locked in. I have my options either way. I've got my ladies on one side with, Melissa and Brett, and then I've got Devontae and Sebastian on the other side. And I felt like there was a way for me to get to the end in sight, but I think everyone saw me as a threat, and they knew that they couldn't sit next to me, sadly. As much as I wanted to wanted to sit next to them, they just made the move. And I think it's the right move, honestly. I feel like I could have presented a very well-rounded game to the jury.
Do you think everybody was on board for you leaving this round?
I think it was hard, and I know people voted with me. I feel like it's those that didn't want to write my name down. But by knowing that there was enough votes, I think Phil's idol definitely had a say, and who went. I had no idea he had an idol. So, if he had an idol, I think, I don't know what the votes were at the end, but I couldn't remember. But I feel like it either still would have been me and Amir, or it would have been me and Phil. And I think that was, Phil and I had a conversation. I said, you and I are probably the biggest threats here, and I feel like they could turn around and just 5-5 each of us. If I know we're talking game, and I know we both understand that I think we're going to be both voting for each other, but I think they see us both as threats. And I was like, if you don't win immunity, I could very well say them trying to take you out. So, yeah, I think, I don't know, yeah.
And just for the record, no volunteer can confirm the vote count now that you're in the jury portion. That's
okay.
For you and the jury to remember.
Okay. No worries.
As much as I want to tell you.
No worries. It was a blur. I stopped,
okay.
When he started saying my name, I stopped thinking. I was like, oh, yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah, okay, so you said Devontae was one of your
tried.
Your options. Tell me more about that.
I tried to convince him to stay. I told him if he left that I was probably going to go. I don't know if he was in on it or knew. And I also told him, though, I fully understand and respect wanting to play that safety because it gets you 2 spots ahead. And if anything, I would prefer for him to make sure that he's safe moving ahead because I felt really connected to him. And yeah, it sucks to see 2 people of color go out at the same time, but if Devontae's still in the game, I hope that I can see him at the end just because he's had an amazing game and I don't want him to jeopardize his game for me. So
you want to see Devontae at the end?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you understood the move.
Yeah, I understood
Clearly,
it.
Clearly it hurt.
Yeah, it did, but I understand it. I've saved a few of the people that are still in the game still, and entrusted with them information because I want them to trust me. And I don't take it personally at all. So
you want to see Devontae at the end. You're saying he's playing an amazing game.
Yeah.
Do other people perceive him that way as well?
I think they do.
Because you're just saying that you got taken out because they said you had an amazing game.
I think Devontae could definitely be seen as a threat. trying to look at the workings of who's left in the game and figuring out like who, and I know Sebastian also is trying to build a resume, you know, and he's done a really good job of playing like like being with those and being trustworthy and playing along. And I think he's made it very like, and I would be surprised it wasn't Sebastian that flipped on this vote. And he's trying to make moves for himself to get him guarantee himself to the game, because he's made those comments before, of just you know, 5 and 6, that's the time for people to make big moves and start, you know, making like those movements, you know, because that's the time, and I'm gonna have to start doing that. He's like, I know we've worked together and we've had each other's backs, and I don't know if I'm in your end game, but like, let's, you know, so things like that and those comments. So I was like, you know, and I understand that he's trying to avoid potentially becoming, you know, just an easy vote off, because he's kind of been an ally. And I agree. Sebastian is someone I worked closely with, but he's not someone I would have wanted to take to the end, because he's not someone like my words and my trust of those is what I would do. I'm very big on that. So like if I feel connected with somebody, regardless if they might beat me, I would want to take them.
If not Devante, who do you want to see at the end?
Like if there were like list 3 names of who I want to see at the end.
However many names you want to say.
Well, if it was a final tribal council of 3, I think of those left in the game, Devante would be one of them that I want to see. I would want to see Melissa. Melissa and I have had a really great journey together, and I think she can definitely plead her case, but she can't be sitting next to Beth. I think those two have played a similar game, and if she is sitting next to Beth, it's going to be hard. I would want them to try to differentiate their game from each other in a way. I love Shauna. We've hit the ground running from day one. So, and she's had such an interesting game being the underdog. And yes, I kind of sent Allison out, knowing that Shauna, that was her last lifeline, so it kind of made Shauna latch on to me. But I think also Shauna knew that she had to start working and finding other things to do. So out of the people left, personally, with the best games at the end, it would probably be Devante, Melissa, and Phil. Because I think Phil ultimately has a really well-rounded game as well.
I can't wait to see how the end plays out. But before we finish up, I just would love to know, like, how has this experience been for you? You know, coming out here and doing this, mentally preparing for this for months. What is your takeaways? How's this been? Day 5.
This has been a bucket list item to do something similar to the Game of Survivor. So when I had the opportunity to apply and get cast, I first of all was like ecstatic. It was and then the reality set in of like, can I do this? Can I accomplish this? Am I prepared? Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to do I need to buy a fire kit and start practicing like in the park where I live? Like, do I need to, start fasting to like try to get accustomed to like not eating? And then ultimately I just did the usual life. And then as we got closer, I tried to do my homework, watch past seasons, get to know the vibe. And I surprised myself because you can only do so much preparation for this. Like you can watch things, but there's like, I don't have challenges at home that I can set up and practice. Like you never know what to expect because it's Survivor. Every season's different. The twists are different. Like, so all I can do is go in with my heart and knowing that like physically I might, like people may look at me and say like, oh, she's strong, but like she can't run. And that was the first challenge, running, a lot of it. And so I was already like in a weird headspace because I felt like I struggled that first day. And I was like, am I gonna be able to survive the next day and the next day? And then every night at camp, and it was something we actually talked about this morning around the campfire, was like how much we've grown as like players, like from day one where we were like huddling around, like, and I'm thinking paranoid, like there's spiders and bugs and like just hoping that they don't come and sleep, and then like just like laying wherever this morning, not really caring, and starting the fire and knowing how to keep the fire going, and you know how to build a tarp tent in weird angles and using, you know, string to attach to random items. So I've learned so much and I've grown so much, and this experience has been absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so grateful I got to be a part of it and now to be a part of this family. So I surprised myself, and hopefully I've gained many friends from it.
I know you have. All right, I'll go ahead and stop you there. That was a great way to end. You're making me tear up over here.